Okay, beautiful. So thank you to those joining me live. Thank you so much for those listening to the replay. So my intention is that there's so much information coming in from Spirit Baby. There's so much happening within the fertility space and conception space. I feel like I'm going to be doing these videos like once a month with updates, because the Spirit Babies really want to be heard, seen, and their very unique perspectives shared for whoever is open to them. So obviously, you know, just listen to the messages. They may resonate, they may not resonate. I am the messenger. This is, you know, this is yes, I'm the messenger, so sharing their messages. So just see how they fit, how they feel in your body, and how they resonate, and anything that doesn't, just let it go. But my intention is for anyone who's here listening to this now, or who is listening to the replay, receives this beautiful transmission. And it really does feel like a transmission. That word always makes me feel like it's quite a galactic word, like all this like fizzy energy coming down, this lovely, I'm just seeing lots of silver, beautiful drops of energy coming down, and I really feel the presence of the babies in this very high vibration energy that are filling the space. So we are here to honor you. We're here to honor your babies in spirit. We're here to honor your journey and all women and their partners who are in this experience. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Debra Kilby. I'm if I was to put a label on myself, I'd say Spirit Baby medium, healer, channel, author of Rose's Choice, Healing the Wounds of the Mother, a journey into the world of the Spirit Baby and how we can build a new earth together, and soul plan reader. So I basically work in the life before life. So I like to travel up to that realm where I have access to that realm, and connect with spirit babies, but also connect with your soul self before you arrived as well. So that's another aspect, because we have all been in this process as spirit babies. Obviously, we've all been spirit babies before we've come into the world, and we all had our own process and our own choices, as your babies in spirit do right now. They'll all be, you know, in their own preparation time as you are in your preparation time. So when you feel like things aren't happening, there's so much happening behind the scenes. Okay, so this particular evening and video is focused on IVF. So because there's been some really interesting information, updated information, recent information that's coming through from the babies that I found really helpful, really fascinating, and just this huge shift in how we might perceive IVF. So however you're feeling around your IVF journey right now, just taking a beautiful deep breath in. And breathing out. And just allowing yourself to feel all those feels. Just feel whatever is coming up. Just welcome, not shutting the door on anything. We're not resisting anything. You're observing just how your body's feeling right now. And again, beautiful deep breath in, calling all of you back from across time and space, people and events. And you can focus that energy behind your eyes if that helps you to like feel the energy, make intangible energy feel more tangible for you. And then breathing out, giving yourself permission to breathe, to relax, to be in your body. And you might want to bring your awareness down to your feet. If it feels a bit much or a bit hard, you might bring your awareness to your tummy and just imagine any food that you've just eaten, that is, you know, just imagine that food digesting. It really helps you into your body. And then if and when that feels possible or ready, imagine you're in your heart energy now. And you're drawing up this beautiful energy from the earth, which is red. I'm feeling very red these days. So this red energy coming up from the depths of the earth. And as it reaches the soles of your feet, just drawing you into your body. So feeling this red energy. You're standing on this red energy and it's pulling you into your body, helping you to feel nice and grounded, strong in your body. And that flowing all the way up to your chest, down your shoulders, your arms, your hands. You might even feel it flowing out from the palms of your hands. And if you do, you can place your hands over your womb space and just imagine that beautiful, vibrant red. Very much power, security, just filling your womb, your own healer. You are your own healer. As the red continues to flow up your throat, opening your throat, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your cheekbones, relaxing your eyes, the front of your head, the back of your head, the sides of your head, all relaxing. That lovely earth energy, the earth really holding you and supporting you as that red energy just flows like a fountain from the crown of your head and all the way around your body. And the energy from source we have, because we are that bridge between heaven and earth, as you might say. And the energy coming in is diamond light, ruby light, gold light. Okay, so there's 3 colors coming in, and actually now there is like a pink light also coming in. So these 4 colors, like a column of light with all these colors. So just feeling this column of light, just pouring down the center, pouring down your crown, behind your eyes, and all the way down through your throat, into your chest, into your heart, all the way down your central core. And all the way down to the earth. And I'm really feeling the babies coming in, because there's this kind of giggle energy that's come in, and you may feel very far from giggly and playful, and that's okay. They are bringing in this energy of joy, and they're saying they've sort of snuck in on that wave of energy that's coming in from source. So just starting to feel maybe, don't try. It's like, oh, I wonder if I can feel that giggly, playful energy that the babies are coming in with this evening. Yeah, I'd already opened up the space, invited in spirit baby, and they're really yes, arriving. So just feeling their energy all around you, and you may even just they're just showing like they're dancing on a golden floor. So they feel very golden energy, and they're sort of dancing around. Okay, looking forward to this evening. And they're just coming very close to your heart energy, your heart chakras. So you might just feel, if that feels okay for you, this heart opening. They're here opening your hearts. So just feels, if it feels safe, just to open your heart just a little. You have all this beautiful earth energy rising up and flowing through. You have all this gorgeous divine source energy flowing down, this diamond, gold, ruby, and pink light just flowing down. The baby's coming in on that golden light. So just feel all of this mixing and merging in your heart. And if you can, imagine the energy of your baby just placing their hand over your heart and just feeling that opening and that connection. Okay, so they're really, really excited and happy to be here. I'm very grateful that you're here. So thank you. And when you're ready, just taking a lovely breath again and just rubbing your hands or rubbing your thighs. It's coming back into your body and being open to this beautiful energy that's in this space. As I said, feeling there's a transmission. I said there wasn't any healing. This is all, it's all healing because you're showing up. But that was just a beautiful, yeah, they wanted to let you know that they were here. So just feel this golden energy dancing around you. Okay, so feeling the transmission of the words that I'm going to be sharing, the energy of your babies, the energy of this space that's created. It's very beautiful and sacred. And then once I've shared the messages that have already come through, you'll all get to ask a question, and we will tune into baby and see what they say. So this isn't the same as my evening with Spirit Baby, which is a paid for, you know, where you get an individual message. This is around IVF and sort of general messages, which will help women who are in this journey. Okay, so in my book, when I wrote this book, IVF appears twice. So in the first section, what Rosa, my Spirit Baby Rose, was talking about IVF was the main message I remember, actually, because I haven't read it all. The main message I remember is to utilize the medical and the science, but always know it's you. It's you who is the portal, you who invites your baby, you who receives. It's you who has the connection and the soul connection with your babies. So if the medical comes into it, utilize that, utilize the science, but be in your power. And there's a, you know, we'll come to the message that they came through around that as well, about, you know, how to make that feel easier or make that feel more empowering for you as the woman. Then the other message in this book that's around IVF is in the third part, which is the very spiritual perspective, so very much a higher perspective of IVF. And I might just read a little bit of this. It's basically, I'm just going to read this section. It's in handing over of power to another that will enable them to create. So there's this sort of high, you know, this soul perspective that the medical is very masculine energy, and there's certainly some fertility centers that I am aware of that have this very masculine energy, and do sadly tell women, oh, well, it's a good, you know, basically they can't get pregnant unless they do this, unless they because of the medical, because of the masculine energy of the medical, giving them the opportunity to become pregnant. So it's really disempowering. So a lot, there's sadly quite a few fertility clinics that are still very in that old patriarchal energy of, you know, women need help. Okay, so if that's triggering anyone, just own that, breathe through it. We all hold this victim template and this what we're all here to change the world. Your babies are here coming in to change the world. You are here to change these energies. So if you're holding them and you've recognized that now, brilliant. The intention is that these energies now start to move through and start to shift within you. This is a huge hole in the psyche of women, the psyche of the female and the psyche of the feminine, because they believe on some very deep and unconscious level that they are not allowed to create unless they are given the chance to by another. Do you see how this is playing out in your world of loss of control, of power in and power over the female? For it is not only useful for the man, the masculine, to have this control over creation, but also for the women, for the feminine, to be in a position of being subservient to it. This is often deemed as safer, more respectable. It is often deemed as the way it should be, with the power of women to create taken and given this blessing through the power of the man, the masculine, to enable this to happen. So this is what's going on a very high you know, on an energetic level, that's the message that's come through for the book. And certainly when Alison Shalhoub and I were on our, you know, doing our road trip to Stonehenge, Avebury and Glastonbury, and connecting with ancient fertility meditations and energies, one of the key messages was around the masculine, and how the masculine used to hold the space and value the woman as the creator. But their role, very, very important role, obviously physically important, whichever way that's coming, with a partner or with sperm donation, it's the masculines to hold the space in honor of the woman who is the creator. Okay, so that was really clear message from the babies within those meditations, opening the gateway to conception. So we're really kind of rebalancing the masculine and feminine, and IVF is one way that shows an imbalance between the masculine and feminine. So again, just breathing that in, this is higher energetic kind of energy going on, that we're all playing out one way or another. And once we're aware of it, you know, this is what we're shifting, because the more we shift, the next person, this is what changes you know, the fertility centers and how women are treated within them, to one of support rather than what's going on a lot of the time, for you to feel really safe within that space. So those are the messages that were then. So the recent messages that have come through are absolutely beautiful, certainly not as you know, heavy, even like, oh my gosh, this is all about queer. So one spirit baby, so just, you know, breathe this in. So IVF is light conception. IVF as light conception. So what this beautiful baby and her amazing mum was, you know, in a client session with me, and she's happy for me to share this, so that's good. And I could see this light. So the embryo, I could see the embryo, after the embryo was placed within her womb, and it was just glowing. And the message was, this is it just looked, there was nothing else around, there was just the embryo, as if nothing else mattered. The space was clear, everything was clear. And this little soul was talking about light. It's like light conception, and actually the words that they used were, it bypasses a lot of stuff. Now I wasn't sure about the word bypass, to be honest, because do we want to bypass anything, or do we want to face it? But I think what they were saying in that moment, and we can explore this with them further. What did that baby mean by it bypasses? It just felt really pure. There was the connection of the sperm, there was the connection of the egg, and nothing else was getting in the way of that. They were choosing, and I think actually it comes into the message I'm about to read, that with IVF, it's more it's more about choosing the egg gets more of a chance to choose the sperm. Anyway, we will read that in a minute, because I'm not sure if I've got that right, but it will come through in a minute. That it feels more of it feels like a pure connection. So if there has been a lot of ancestral wounding or past life, I mean, who hasn't, but particularly, you know, quite heavy stuff potentially, then it can I just got the impression that the babies were saying, it's like, can you see it as light conception? It's light of the sperm meeting the light of the egg and the light of the woman of the womb. And even though this happens outside of the body, they are still connected to your body. Okay, so it's light conception. I don't know if I'm explaining that so well, because I was just very much in the energy of it, and I'm trying to translate it now without being in the energy of that moment. But if you can imagine that it just is this pure connection. That was the main idea that this baby was trying to get across to us, was it's pure. So, you know, whatever you know, ideas you hold around IVF, your baby see it, or certainly this baby did, and Others potentially, I only checked in with this baby, they see it as a chance of light conception, because it's a pure energy meeting a pure energy. Okay, without getting all the other family history and whatever it is that might be playing out, it doesn't reach that. So there's still much more to explain on that, but if you can just even hold the thought of light conception and this purity, because it certainly doesn't feel pure when you're putting so much stuff into your body, and you know, hormones and all of that. But the essence for the babies is that for them it can feel like a pure light conception. So definitely more to explore on that one, but I thought that was very uplifting message, and very, you know, not what how we may feel or think about IVF. So just holding that as another perspective as how they potentially see it. So the other message that came through that was in a client session was, you know, we were talking about the language around fertility, and this gorgeous mum was saying, you know, oh, another failed cycle. So we were talking about the language around fertility, and how this really is not supportive. You know, we all know that we're geriatric mothers from the age of 35, according to this old patriarchal language. Age, seriously, don't get me on age. Like, let's you know, let's this is just all very much programming, which if you go onto my YouTube, there is a video about how to reset that program if you feel like you're holding it. Anyway, so failed IVF cycle, like how is that going to make you feel? And this baby just jumped in and went, it's not a failure. It's not a failure. This is not what's happening. That's their words. This is not what is happening. You are not failing. I am not failing. We are not failing each other. Nothing is a failure. This is not what's happening. So they then showed me this like drip feed of energy coming into the body. And it was like a little bit of their energy, then a little bit more of their energy, then a little bit more of their energy. And what they were saying was that sometimes it takes it, because they are of a very different frequency, very high frequency. They're encouraging us, lifting us up in our frequency to meet them in order for them to come down. But their energy is so of a different frequency. It kind of needs to come in drip fed, a little bit by little bit by little bit, because that's how they can adjust. So they're slowly bringing their energy in, because they have to change their energy from a very, very quick vibration to, obviously we know what we all feel like on this planet, you know, a kind of a heavier in form matter vibration. And so they're coming in very gently, more gently, because one, to help them adjust to the physical, and two, so this slower process is easier for them, but it's also easier for you. So they showed me this like explosion of light, and if their energy, if their frequency came in all at once, then it would you know, it would knock you over. You know, you'd be out for the you know, you'd be lying down. And you know, it's really an intense energy to hold in your body. So they're coming in slowly, so you are adjusting. So for anyone who feels like their baby's getting closer, even though they may have been through a number of cycles, even that they have this idea that their baby's getting closer, and it doesn't make any sense, like maybe just feel into trusting that, and just feel into this, I wonder if they're coming closer. Now, I didn't ask, and I will ask, does that mean it's on every IVF cycle, you know, on every cycle that they own, you know, that their energy is drip fed in? And that really doesn't kind of feel right in my body, actually, because it's once the process started, because one, financially, two, the toll on your body and your emotions and everything else, having to go through a number of cycles, that's not what they want. We can check in with them, but actually I'm hearing now, no, once the process has started, the process starts way before you may even reach IVF, coming to an assisted conception. you are they begin to drip feed their energy, if that's the way they are coming in slowly from a very long time before you might reach the IVF process. But certainly with the IVF process, it's very it becomes more present, if you like. It becomes more their energy becomes more connected to you, more present with you and around you, so you can start to feel them more closely around you. And then when it's, you know, then when it's not their time to arrive yet, you know, that spins us all out into all manner of disappointment and sadness and, you know, giving up and just huge emotions, and just holding you in the biggest hug for that, because it's really the most massive roller coaster. But if you wish to hold on to that idea of drip feeding their energy, so you can adjust, because you are adjusting your vibration with all the work you do, with all the showing up you do, for yourself, to look after yourself, to remember yourself and your own sense of power, that you don't feel like you need permission, you don't feel like you need, you know, you're in your own power, that you know, I am your mum or your mother or your mama right now, even though they are not physically with you. I am. You're in that power, and I invite you, I welcome you, I receive you. It's the energy of receiving when we're in you know, when we're in that conception energy, and it's taking much longer than we would wish for, and certainly when we're in the IVF or assisted process. I can't remember what I was going to say then, but it's just, let me get my words back. My mind's gone blank. They're like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, let that go. Okay, so I might come back to it if it comes back, but for now that doesn't feel relevant. We're talking about empowerment, feeling empowered. Yes, IVF particularly can feel like an achievement, or conception in general can feel like achievement. I've got to do this, I need to do that, I shouldn't do this, I need to take my action. We've been trained to achieve, and the more work we put into it, the more likely our success. This is really, again, not what the energy of conception is around. The energy of conception is around receiving, welcoming, inviting. There is no achievement energy to it, there is no competition energy to it. You are connecting with another soul. You are birthing new consciousness, you are birthing your baby, so you are allowing this energy to connect with your body, and hopefully with a love and grace within your body, to welcome your baby into your arms. So we want to step out of the achievement energy, and IVF can often, you know, the language around it is very much around failure and achievement, or success or not success. And so it's really, the babies are saying this is not what it's about. We are coming in very gently because our energy is such high vibration. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for now. If anyone wants to put anything in the chat, then please do. Those of you who are watching live. So when I asked for questions, I had 3 questions come in, and we can look at some more questions if you have any after. So the questions that came in were, do babies see IVF as forcing them to come in or assisting them to come in? So that's one aspect we will be looking at in this message that came through. The other question was, what is the path of least resistance within an assisted process? And then another question that came in was, you know, this feeling of this fear of the side effects of IVF, and you know, the amount of drugs that are involved in it. So there's lots of stuff that obviously comes up around IVF. I can't do it on my own. Like, how many beliefs come up? None of them true, but it's just what you're working through. It's what you are facing what's showing up for you. Okay, so there's no judgment on that. Please don't judge yourself. Don't, be kind. As Rosa says, if you can love yourself through all of these, to love yourself amidst all of what's going on is your greatest gift to yourself. Okay, so I'm going to read some of this message and see how you feel, but please do put any questions in the comments. Okay, so we're looking at, do babies see IVF as forcing or assisting? So when I was connecting in for these messages, I actually felt a real energy of the whale, because the whales hold our akashics and the waters hold our soul energy. If you imagine the waters across the world, the water's been here since the beginning of time. It's the same water. It changes form. It's a raindrop. It's a drop in the ocean. It's a river. It's a pond. It's a cloud. It's a water that we drink. It's the water, it just changes form, and they, spirits say, see yourself as water. You'll change form. You're always here. You're just changing form. But the water holds some of our soul memory, and what I was shown was the water. We feel like we can connect with our soul energy in the water. So when you're near water, you feel very safe, you feel very connected, you can connect with your own soul. But of course your babies are doing the same thing. So your babies are connecting through the water, their soul energy that's held in the water. And the whales hold on to our akashics, all our records of all our lifetimes. So that's why I felt a lot of whale energy coming within these answers. So again, that might sound all very weird for you, or just take it or leave it, but just imagine these beautiful whales, and also just the water, the preciousness of water, the water in your body, your hydration, the waters of the world. They're holding soul energy and soul memory, and you are, your babies, you connect with the water, your soul energy. You can connect with your baby's energy in the water too, as they are doing. So do babies see IVF as forcing or assisting? This is the answer. This is what the message that came through from the babies. It's not the answer, it's just what they were sharing. So there is no forcing these babies. They are on the whole very willing to come when their time is right. And this may well be against the natural, with inverted commas, order of things and how we conceive. However, the babies will take their chances in whichever way comes. And so no, there is no forcing from their point of view. Okay, so they will, and certainly with egg donation, with sperm donation, honestly, when we're up in that preparation to arrive process, we choose everything. We already know the coding of the egg and the coding of the sperm that we want, because it's holding the experiences that we want to experience. Okay, and I just want to add, we're not fixed in those experiences anymore, but once we're aware of those experiences, and we've kind of ticked that box, then there of course are opportunities to change our soul choices. Okay, so this forcing, there is no forcing them from that point of view. So how they did turn that around, which I thought was really interesting, is, however, this is an interesting topic to look at, because what is it that is being forced? If you are feeling that forced energy, I'm being forced into IVF, and being forced into this assisted process, and being forced. So they were asking you to feel into that energy of being forced. Are you being forced to conceive as if against your will? Or are you feeling forced to take a treatment that you do not feel is aligned with you? And they're asking then, how is it you can become aligned? Because maybe that's the energy that you need to look at. What is your resistance to the medical and the intervention? Okay, so they always turn it round to help us. Okay, so sometimes, of course, it's like, oh, we don't want to recognize that within ourselves, that we might be feeling forced, or we might be feeling not good enough to go it alone, or not woman enough, as some language is out there. And they were also, just looking at why do you feel forced? What is the energy of force? Who is forcing you? What? Just look at the energy of force, and even look at who or the story. Like, just feel that in your body. Where do I feel like I've got no choice? I'm forced to be in this position, in this process. And that's where your healing is lying, is where they're saying that's where your healing is coming from within this, to really feel into that energy of forced, because that's that's an energy hanging around. It's not the truth. So they're asking, what is your resistance? To really just look in, feel into your resistance, any resistance there is to the medical and to intervention. And like they said, is it I don't feel good enough to go it alone, or not woman enough? Is it you feel forced, as if you're being experimented on? And what they said around this was kind of a bit wild as well. For surely this has been the case in days gone past for many of you, and indeed in these current times. Okay, so is this a resistance to being an experiment, is the question they asked. Is that surely is an area to look at. So just this energy of experiment, and certainly I've been with clients before, not around fertility necessarily, but just around their own birthing themselves, where we've gone back to those places. And actually it's just reminded me of my own story, of like being taken to a memory. I was born with different heart, I had to have a heart operation and stuff. I was born with various different things going on with my heart. And one of the memories or images or the energy of that was another time where I was being experimented on by whoever, and they were just like, where's the love? Where's the love? What is in this heart? And I've seen women who have been experimented on their womb. Creation, where's this? And it feels like this. So let's not get all caught up in it, but it's like this experiment energy can be coming from another time, certainly another time. They say now, let's you can draw your own conclusions on that one, but it's in the field. This energy of being experimented on is in the field. So for some of you, that might be what you're being asked to look at, to lift off. And as I said, we're setting the intention that anything that comes up is starting to ease and lift. So it's not, so you're aware of it. You don't need to hold on to that any longer. Some things you might need to go into a bit deeper, but just let's make it easy. So yes, so quite a lot about experiment. And then they're talking about this conundrum. So if your usual way of conceiving isn't working as you see it, then you are naturally going to seek elsewhere. And isn't it to the point of where it is you are seeking this? So this moves on to the second question of what is the path of least resistance? And it was, if you are seeking help, love, and support, isn't this a fine thing? But what if that help, love, and support didn't feel like such? Then what do you do? So when we're asking for help, love, and support, okay, we all, support is just the energy of this the week, actually, or it's the energy right now, a beautiful energy of support coming in. And if you're going into your IVF or your whatever assisted process you're in, if it feels that you're going in and asking for help, love, and support, and receiving the energy of help, love, and support, then how beautiful is that? But often it doesn't feel like that when we're going into certain clinics. So what do you do if you don't feel like you're receiving the help, love, and support that you need in that moment? You go and seek other support that does. And so where might this support be, my dears? Well, of course, it lies within you, and finding that support within yourself, as well as finding the support in any doctors and medical you might need. And this is the next interesting bit. But just as you have a purpose and your baby has a purpose, so do the doctors and the medical staff. And so some will be of a purpose to love and nurture and be connected to the babies and the women and the energy of fertility. Okay, so there's some of the medical that are connected to the babies, the women, and the energy of fertility, love, and nurture. And some will be connected to the mechanics and the science. And so which ones do you feel most supported by? For they are surely there. Okay, so they are surely there for you as may have been agreed long ago. Okay, so what they're saying is that there's, you know, you're already connected with your babies. You're already connected. If you found my work, there's something going on that's drawn us together that was most likely agreed from, you know, in the ethers, in our own preparation and planning process of life. So your doctor or doctors, your medical support team, you may well have been contracted, like come together to agree to help each other, to agree to be nurtured. I will nurture you in this process. If you go through this process because you're healing and clearing, you know, so many beliefs around yourself to step into your power, then I'm going to be there as your medical support to help you do that. That's the energy. How beautiful is that? And so what the babies are saying, don't be in a rush to choose your doctor. Don't be in a rush to choose those with the most expertise. Choose the one who is in most alignment with your energy. And they went on to say that those who are most in alignment with your energy are not the ones who tell you no. They are not the ones who focus only on the facts and figures. They may know their drugs, but they may not know you. The ones to choose are the ones who focus only on you. And so the babies were saying, and so where can you find them? For they are surely on our side. The babies, so these medical teams are on the side of the babies. The babies know who they are, so ask your babies to guide you to the right clinic, for example, to the right doctor. Ask for those people to be in that space when you are you know, visiting that particular clinic, for example. They are surely on our side. This is the babies talking, as they are on yours. And so find the ones who you do know. Find the ones who care for your energy and emotion as you move through this process, who allow you the herbs and the levels of substance that work with your body and not against your body. Be in your power as you question what it is they are giving you and why. And if they don't know, or if they are saying that is just the way it is, then this is not your doctor, it is the machine. Okay, so just really being aware of the energy of who is around supporting and assisting you. Okay, so this is a big message about the process of IVF as well. And of course, again, it's going to be different for each and every one of you. So they're saying, so this is what they said next. It's not that your eggs need to be reproduced by the bucket load, but this is an energy of lack and what if. And that is not your core, it is theirs, the doctor. So if there's certain clinics that, you know, that you know, well, we need to get so many, and it makes logical sense, of course. So, you know, just take this as take this however you will, because you don't want to have to go through that process so many times. You know, you know, I can imagine it's all in one go. But they're saying just be aware of the energy of lack around that. But it's not your, it's potentially your energy of lack. The more chances I've got. But they're saying it's the energy of lack, particularly around the medical, because it's almost like it's a sign of success for them if they get, rather than for you, the sign of success for them. Oh, there's this, and when it's not so many eggs, then of course it's down. Oh, that's, you know, that's your issue. There's not so many. And you know, there's going to be, you know, there's a lot that's more gentle than that, you know, around how many embryos are you know, ready, viable to be transferred. But they're just asking, the babies are just asking to be that little bit aware of the energy of lack. Okay, and is it the medical that's driving this idea that the more you have, the more chances you have? Okay, so let's continue with this message. Again, just breathe through that, or let it go if it's not really you know, hitting you, pressing you, you know, just landing with you in a good way. And so the babies went on to say, and if your eggs do not need stimulating, then do not stimulate them. For if that is the egg, that is the egg. There is no sense to stimulate your body to the level that is required, as if one is not enough. Aren't you one, and aren't you enough? And so can you go through this process without worrying about the stimulating and the fakeness this feels in your body, if this is how it feels for you. So know this is your individual experience. This is just an option in answer in response to a question from a woman. Okay. So it might not be your answer, it might not be for you. Okay, but they're just bringing in that questioning of, can you look at, we're always looking at that question of, you know, am I enough? Am I enough? Am I good enough? You're enough. Aren't you one? You are one. You are one egg. Aren't you one? And aren't you enough? Okay, you are enough. They are enough. So there is certainly some of you that you know, to stimulate the body, of course, and stimulate the eggs. But they were also bringing in this natural IVF. Would you, you know, a more natural or gentle process that works with your body more than works with the medical and the science way of looking at the body? So what the babies then went on to say was, would you feel easier if eggs were collected as naturally as possible, and then found their togetherness with the sperm rather than all at once and at a time when they are pumped with drugs? Think about this, my dears, for I don't necessarily understand your physical ways, but I do understand your loving ways, and your loving ways of being in your body as lovingly as you can. And so can you take the loving choice? Who says you need so many eggs before they carry out a cycle? Who says that all your eggs are to be deemed out and ready at a level that may not be normal for your body? Who says this and why? Okay, so just asking you to question the doctor. It doesn't matter, this is just an example. Question why you are being told that this is what needs to happen. Feel into your body. Does that feel aligned with you? Does it not feel aligned with you? Your forwards and back, your body will move towards something that's good for you in a way. So this is really big and very new, and like I'm, you know, let's just share the message and we can all hold it in whichever way we want. It's just asking us really to question what we're being told when we're in that IVF process. Okay, so and is this someone who is willing to help you with this in your way and not theirs, that takes your point of power and intuition and not theirs? That all is at your point of acceptance and not theirs. So despite what may be going on, despite, you know, there may be more stimulation needed for various reasons, there may need to be more hormones, there may need to be more drugs. This is you're working with what you've got. We can, there's, you know, just imagine the drugs as white light. There's lots of different ways of making that a very different experience than drugs, because drugs sounds harsh. Like this medicine, this sacred medicine, this white sacred medicine is bringing my baby closer to me. You know, this just changing the perception of that. But what the babies are doing here is really asking you to step into your power and your intuition, and to be in surrounded by a team of people that listen to your point of power and intuition and not theirs, not what they say is the right thing just because that's what's been doing, or that's how, you know, that's their intuition. I mean, if you're in that alignment with them, then beautiful. But be with someone, be with your support team who takes your point of power and intuition and not theirs, that is at your point of acceptance and not theirs. Okay. If there is nothing, so then they go on to this other question. So that kind of answers a bit the fear of side effects of the IVF and the drugs used. There's so many ways you can bring your partners into that. You can turn it into a ritual. You can hold. You can hold. You know, a cuddly toy or a baby. You know, something that feels connected to you and your babies, and you can imagine like, oh, and I know it's not easy, but I'm just, if there's ways of changing the feeling and perception around, you know, when you are receiving those hormone treatments. Okay, so and looking at the fear of the experiment, being experimented on, and all of those other things that have been mentioned. So I hope that answers that lovely lady's question. So the other thing that they wanted to mention, and then that will probably be enough information. There's so much information. If there is nothing wrong with your eggs, then what is it that is wrong? Could it be the man, the masculine, the sperm who may need to be in more symbiosis with the woman and the egg, perhaps? So just another question they're asking. And then they're saying there's very little pressure on the man to think like this, other than, you know, they might have their manhood questioned and all of that. And yet it's the woman is the one who is always called into question. And why is this, do you think? And so the babies are saying, trust your body, trust your intuition, trust yourself. You are not going to a clinic because you failed. Okay, and it's your last resort. That's not why you're going. There's so many other different reasons that you're going. You're going to a clinic because your eggs need help to match with the sperm, and that is a very different thing, a very different energy, that you are allowing the energies of such to come together in a way that may not be able to otherwise. So this is kind of linking into that light conception, and how it works. I don't, you know, I kind of haven't got that image in my head yet, just this like, oh, this embryo glowing, glowing, glowing with life. You're going to a clinic because your eggs need help to match with the sperm. And that is a very different thing about your eggs having not being enough, or you know, you failed, or it's your last resort. It's a very different energy. So you're a very different energy, that you're allowing the energies as such to come together in a way that may not be able to otherwise. And so isn't that the magical thing, that this conception can take place outside the body while still fully connected to the body, because it still is in the body that you are with your baby. It is just that this light conception can also happen outside of it if it so wishes. And I can call it light conception because if the egg and sperm are a match, then isn't that of the light? And if the woman and the man are of a match, then isn't this a matter of light and lightness? And if the clinic, the woman and the man are at a match, then isn't this bringing an added quality to the life that is already there? And so, my dears, I would choose your clinic wisely, for many are of the light and many are of the old. And you'll know the difference the minute you walk in or speak with your doctor. And so do not go with those who think they have all the power. Go with those who know it is you who has it. Yeah, so okay, that's a lot. But anyway, that's what they wanted to share about IVF. So there's an awful lot there. So I'm going to, or I need to put together, or I'm being asked to put together, just when I've got some time, maybe in November, to do a 3-day preparation for IVF. This will be on a, you know, I don't know what's coming through yet, but we will certainly be looking at the energies that they've pointed to, the energies of experiment, the energies of fear, the energies of failure, the energy of not being enough. We will be looking at all of those within some healing process that's going to be completely channeled in a moment. So I will let you know when that, the date for that, if you were interested, if you were open to looking at that. So thank you very much for listening. I'm going to take some questions now, so I'm going to turn off the recording so the questions are private. But thank you for listening if you're watching this on the replay on YouTube or anywhere else. Thank you. Take care. Thanks. Bye.